In sales, if you aren't good at reading people and understanding underlying concerns that aren't explicit, you could accidentally come across as pushy. I've found that some people on the autistic spectrum might find this particularly challenging. Here are some tips that may help. Understand your process. There's a saying that it takes 5 to 7 touch points before prospects are ready to close. This doesn't mean you're doing the same thing 5 to 7 times, expecting the same results. Never pitch the same way twice. Some of these touch points could be marketing related or may have occurred before their interaction with you. For example, hearing about you from a friend, seeing an ad, visiting your website, reading one of your emails, reading a post on your blog, the call with you, a follow-up email you sent, or your second meeting with them. Understand your process and what's been communicated so you don't accidentally repeat yourself, leaving them with a pushy impression. It may be possible to address some of their objections in other ways, which brings us to the next point. 2. Plan and practice. With so many potential objections, it's important to predict and prepare responses to them in advance. Answers you come up with on the spot aren't going to be particularly good. Even when an objection seems illogical or unfounded, providing weak justification can be perceived as desperation, leaving an unwanted impression that you are untrustworthy or unknowledgeable, jeopardizing the sale. This is where role-playing and coaching comes in. Practice potential responses to various objections with your team. Seek feedback to improve your responses and make them less defensive. 3. Ninja move, address objections before they arise. For instance, if quality is a common objection, discuss misconceptions about the quality of your solution during the recommend stage. If it's already been addressed, when you move to engage and close, it would no longer be an objection. 4. Stick with your prospects. But not in an annoying and clingy way. You drive the bus. Don't expect them to. Lead the follow-up and guide the process. Be there for them through their conflicts. Hold them accountable to their timeline and goals, which you should identify and have them acknowledge during assessment. For example, prospects will often say, "Just email me the details," as an excuse, only to ignore your email and never reply. You could respond with, "Sure thing. Just to ensure I send you the right information and don't overwhelm you, is there anything specific you believe is a priority or major concern?" This way, you're sticking with them and, at the same time, making it easier and more personalized. Another common deflection is, "Send me an email and I'll find a time in my calendar." Respond with, "Of course, just to confirm I have the right email, it's your abc@xyz.com email, right?"
Yes.
Just to make sure I send over some reasonable options, is there a day?
Thursday next week should work.
Is morning or afternoon?
Anytime after 1 p.m.
Awesome. I happen to be free next Thursday at 3 p.m. If that works for you, I'll send over a calendar invite as a placeholder. Notice in this exchange that despite sticking with them, it doesn't come across as pushy. This is because you're doing so in a way that makes it easier for them. If they aren't interested, you're not cutting off their escape. We're deliberately making it difficult for them to say no. Most engagements stall, not because prospects aren't interested, but because there's too much friction in the process. 5. Focus on their needs. Remember, customer service over sales. Don't be afraid to turn prospects away. It doesn't make you or your solution look bad. Instead, acting with integrity reflects well on yourself because it communicates that you aren't pushing for a sale purely for the sake of profit. Here's an exercise you can do. What are some of your common objections? 2. How could you address them? Remember to discuss them with your prospects when you're recommending so they won't be raised later. Found this valuable? Visit caremethodology.com for the 100% free, no email required to access ebook, Selling Ethically. The Care Methodology.